today, in order for us to get started with Unit 3, we're going to go back over something that you learned in Algebra 1 called slope. And so we're going to review over this, and it'll kind of give you an idea of where we're going through Unit 3. So let's jump into 3.1, slope. All right, so the first key point that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the formula to determine slope. So in math, normally slope is represented as m, okay? And so now slope is going to be known as the change in y coordinates over the change in your x coordinate, okay? But mostly you guys remember this in Algebra 1 as rise over run. Because y2 minus y1, that's the change in your y coordinates, up and down. And then run, your change in your x coordinates, is known as your run. So you're going to be using rise over run to determine slope here, okay? So let's go ahead and jump to example number 1. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so on example number 1, it wants me to find the slope between the points -6, 3, and 4, 5. So you know that the equation for slope is going to be m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the first thing I need to do is I need to label my points and figure out which ones are going to be my 1s and which ones are going to be my 2s. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys it does not matter as long as you label them correctly. So these are going to be my 1s, so I'm going to make this x1 and y1. I'm going to make these my 2s, x2 and y2. And literally all I have to do is just plug everything in here, okay? So with that being said, m is going to equal y2 minus y1. So my y2 is 5, my y1 is 3, my x2 is 4, my x1 is -6. This is going to be huge, guys. Make sure you understand this. We're subtracting x1. So I am subtracting what x1 is, which is -6. And I'm putting it in parentheses so we can see the separation there, okay? So right now, 5 minus 3 is going to give me 2. Subtracting a negative is going to turn to plus. So 4 plus 6 is going to give you 10. Now, you could go ahead and use this fraction to do your slope if you wanted to, but this can be reduced by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So your slope is going to be equal to 1 over 5. And what that means whenever you graph is you're going to be going up 1 and to the right 5. Up 1 and to the right 5. Remember, rise over run. My change in my y coordinates over my change in my x coordinates. Okay? All right, so let's jump over to example number 2. All right, so on example number 2, it wants you to find the slope of line M. So right there, that is your slope, okay? So a while ago, I know my formula is going to be m equals y2 over y1 over x2 minus x1. So with that being said, I need at least 2 coordinates in order for me to find that slope. So right now, I'm just going to pick 2 of the coordinates. So let's go and look at this guy here. So I have -2, 2. So -2, comma 2. And then I'm going to look at this guy right here. I have -1, -1. So now I have my 2 coordinates. So again, I need an x2, a y2, and an x1 and y1. It does not matter how you label your points. Pick any 2 points on that line, and you can find the slope. So I'm going to make these a different color. I'm going to call these my 1s, and I'm going to call these my 2s. And then all I got to do is plug in that info into my formula to find it, okay? So rise over run. So here we go. So my y2 here is going to be -1. So -1 minus my y1 is going to be 2. My x2 here is going to be -1. And then my x1 here is going to end up being -2. Remember, that key thing is that when I plug in that negative, it's subtracting a negative there, okay? So now let's go ahead and do my math here. So -1 minus 2 will be -3. Then this will turn into plus. So -1 plus 2, or 2 minus 1, same thing, is going to be over 1. So now rise over run, that means I'm going down 3 to the right 1, down 3 to the right 1. And actually, I would write this as -3 divided by 1 is -3. So your slope here would actually be -3 would be your slope. So that's how you do it the math way, okay? So now, a quicker way is if you have a graph, you can actually count and go ahead and get your rise over run that way. So let me get a different color so we can see this. So let me start at this point, and I'm going to count to this point. So I'm going 1, 2, 3 down, and then I'm going 1 over to that point. So that's going to be rise. This is going to be my run. So my slope would end up being -3 over 1. So as I went down 3 and over 1, okay? So my slope is going to end up being -3. So again, you could either count it or you could do the math way, however you want to do it, okay? Let's go to example number 3. All right, looking at example number 3, it tells me to draw a line through the point 3, -2 with a slope of 3. So remember, my slope is 3, so if I put this over 1 as a fraction, that's going to be rise over run, correct? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plot this point, so 3, -2. So I'm going to go over 3, and I'm going to go down 2. So right there is that point that it wants me to plot. Now it wants me to draw a line. So literally, I just need one more point to be able to draw that line, but I'm going to do it a little bit more multiple times so y'all can see the line. So that means my slope is going to be 3 over 1. Remember, this is my rise over my run. So that means I'm going to go up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, or you could go over 1, up 3, however you want to do it. So I'm going to do 3 over 1. So that means I'm going to go up 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go over 1, so 3 and 1. So this is going to be my other point, okay? And literally, I'm just going to do it again. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So I went up 3 over 1. Rise over run. Let me do it one more time so you can kind of see it. 1, 2, 3, over 1. Now I could actually go the other way if I wanted to. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look, those dots, if I actually end up connecting them, is going to create a line going straight down through there. It's not a perfect line, but you can see it. So I went up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. So remember, your slope is going to be rise over run, and it's going to be dealing with your rate of change. How much is my x coordinate changing and my y coordinate changing on my output? Okay? All right, so let's jump over to the challenge question. All right, guys, so now down in the bottom right of your screen, you have your challenge question. Remember, this is a question to help to kind of gauge if you're ready for your skill check. So if you can do this challenge question on your own and figure it out on your own, it probably means you're ready to go to the skill check. If you have trouble with this, call me over. I'll help you out a little bit, give you a couple of questions or a couple of answers to help you out, and then we'll move you on to your skill check. Let me know if you need any help. Good luck.